Yo, what's up guys? So throughout my time in this rabbit hole, I've heard many hyped up and critically acclaimed IEMs like the U12T, Z1R, the Mess, the Monarch, but out of all of them, my favorite and the most unique IEM to me is the original EJ07 from Let's Sure. There's no other set that's as immersive and musically engaging that I've heard. Okay, so I know the graph looks really bad, but hear me out guys. It's like they took all the stat points and put it into the mid-range and musical immersion. And it works perfectly, creating this almost out-of-body like experience that I never heard on any other set. When I crank up the EJs, it's like I just forgot about reality and I'm just floating away with the music as it takes me on a journey. Now, I'm not even going to try and defend the recessed treble and the lack of bass. I do not recommend this set at normal/lower listening volumes. It's just too dark and muffled under 80 dBs. You should not get this if you don't like to listen loud. But with that being said, once you crank this baby up, it turns into a completely different beast. It's like going from a Magikarp to a Gyarados. But we are talking at least 85 dBs here, and sometimes I even hit 95 on more laid back tracks, which you definitely shouldn't be doing regularly. I only use the EJs 3 times a week and only 30 minutes to an hour each session at that volume. Your listening environment is also very important. This isn't a set where you can just put it on at work or on a walk or something. No, you need to give it your full undivided 100% attention. So no distractions. I highly recommend just laying down or sitting back with your eyes closed, relax, and just take in all the music and everything that EJ has to offer. Now, the reason why you're even able to crank it up that high in the first place is because there's simply just less treble. It really allows the music to be a lot smoother and doesn't kill your ears at high volumes. But most importantly, the smoothness allows you to crank up the immersion as the music envelops around you and takes you away on this journey. Any more treble at higher volumes and it's going to break the immersion because of sharpness and fatigue, and it'll kill your ears too. This is also the same with the low end. Too much bass at high volume will start to get fatiguing, distracting, but more importantly, it overtakes the mid-range and switches the focus onto the booming low end, which again breaks the immersion. Now, based on the graph, it might look like the treble and bass is too recessed, but it's actually not. It's actually in the perfect position once you crank it way up. Of course, they won't have the same focus as the mid-range, but both sit nicely right behind it, clear, unmuffled, and ready to be called upon whenever you want to switch your focus. Neither distracts you away from the mids, but instead acts as the perfect support to the mid-range, which is the star of the show. For example, cymbals sit slightly behind the vocals and other instruments, and although the crash isn't going to be as extended, crispy, and airy versus something like the variations, they aren't soft or dark either. The EJ sound balanced and the timbre is natural and realistic. Same with the bass. Not booming like a subwoofer, but it's still high quality, very textured, fast, and clean. And I actually did EQ more bass and treble just to see what it's like, but it just ends up taking away from the immersion and breaks the illusion. Finally, let's talk about the mid-range where all the magic happens. Since the bass and treble is less emphasized, this pushes the mid-range more into focus and highlights nuances that otherwise would have been taken away by the attention from the bass and the treble region. To my ears, the EJ07s has one of the cleanest and clearest mid-ranges I have ever heard. Now, this is at higher volumes of course, but it's on par with sets like the Monarch and Variations. Instrument separation and layering is top of the line with those sets as well, and imaging specifically is very special when combined with the staging. Imaging is incredibly precise, centered, fast, with sharp attack and quick decay coming from every direction all around me. And because there's a bigger contrast or perceived distance in the bass, treble, and mids, the EJs actually feel less flat and more 3D when compared to the others. Vocals are also stunning, incredibly smooth, gentle, but also powerful when needed. The gain is perfect, never shrill or sharp like the variations can get at higher volumes, and the mid-range is forward-leaning like the vocals, creating a sense of intimacy with the music while bombarding you with details from every direction possible. Of course, the dynamics are also incredible as well. Although the bass and treble aren't as audible as quote-unquote normal IEMs, they're still clearly there, and in terms of smoothness and scaling, the EJs are top of the line. So this combination of immersion, a 3D presentation, and top-of-the-line mid-range focus approach creates an unparalleled musical experience that I've never heard in any other form factors, period. IEMs, headphones, or speakers. It's so immersive that I feel like I'm floating away into another galaxy or something. It's almost dreamlike at times, especially with rock and alternative libraries. The EJs took me to a whole new world on songs like A House in Nebraska, God Turned Me Into a Flower, Venice Bitch, and Flower in the Town. But I do realize that the EJs are more of a specialized set than an all-rounder like the Variations and the EJ07M version. So if you don't check the boxes of listening at loud volumes and giving it your full undivided attention, then you're just gonna end up missing its full potential. And for $829, that's a steep price to pay. But if you are interested, it does go on sale frequently for 20% off on Let's Share's website. So yeah, that's why the EJ07s are my favorite IEMs. Again, this is a high volume specific set, and you can get a more quote-unquote correct sounding IEM like the Variations and EJ07M version, but I still haven't heard anything close to its musicality and immersiveness. The closest would be the Dark Magician, but that's more laid back rather than intimate. It's just truly a very unique listening experience. But that's all for now. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, and sub, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Peace!